Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of On the Table podcast. I'm super excited to get back to this. This podcast was based on conversations held at Built Bodyworks while on the table working with my people. We talk about successes, failures, mindset, pain, business, and everything in between. And so with that, I want to introduce my good friend Taylor. Taylor Weeks. Taylor Weeks is a sales leader. He's a father, a husband, a really good friend of mine. I feel like we've gotten to do a lot together, and I just love the conversations that we've had. I feel like you're the older brother I never had. Like we've just been able to connect on a lot of those things. So welcome, my man.
Thanks, Brance. Excited to be here.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for being here. How you feeling, dude?
I'll feel better when I get back on the table with you.
Yeah, let's go. We got that booked. Yes,
Yes, we do.
Okay, good. Dude, speaking of exactly that, I want to jump into first just the opportunity to work together in that space. I mean, it's been a couple years. I feel like I've been able to be a minimal part of your opportunity you're a runner. Forgot to introduce that.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most recent ones was, I think it was the Spartan race.
I did a half marathon a couple months ago.
Okay, that's right.
It was kind of sporadic. I had somebody. It was actually kind of fun. Actually, one of the guys at my work was like, "Oh, I'm thinking about doing a half marathon." Well, if you're thinking about it, let's just do it.
Yeah.
I was a little undertrained, but that's okay. I mean, I know 13 miles feels like a long way, but anybody can do that. You'll hurt afterwards if you're not very trained, but you can get there. And so we ended up doing that end of last year. And it was pretty fun because as we were looking at goals for this year, he came to me and said, "Dude, I honestly forgot about the fact that I set a goal to run a half marathon at the start of the year. And because you just said, 'Hey, I'll do it with you,' I was able to achieve that goal, even though in my head I really wasn't planning to. So it's fun to see people accomplish their goals and to be a part of them. And so running has allowed me to, I think, do that with a lot of folks, including myself."
Cool. No, and I mean, dude, that's why you're here. You have something, you want to go out and do it, and even if you don't feel fully prepared, you send it, and I love that, dude. I think you do that with a lot of things in life. But yeah, man, it's been awesome to, put some work in on the table, and lots of leg work, and anyways, It's been great. So I appreciate you for trusting me to help you out with some of that stuff, and again, the friendship that's developed from there, man.
Likewise, brother.
Dude, tell me a little bit, being in the sales space, what do you feel like how do you feel like you motivate, your team and colleagues, coworkers to lead and grow the way that you do?
It's interesting being in sales. If you want to be in sales, I think similar to it's the closest thing to being an entrepreneur,
right?
Because you only eat if you kill something.
I like that.
So that's the reality. You've built this business and you have to have clients if you're going to be able to pay your bills.
Yep.
Likewise. And so I think there's already this level of self-motivation that comes from people that are in sales. And so I enjoy being around those types of people. It's not someone where I'm having to drag them to say, "Oh, well, do the work," because they know that that's the only way that they get paid.
True. True.
So I find that I relate really well to entrepreneurs like yourself and other salespeople, because it's more of an idea of not so much how do I motivate you, but how do we eliminate a lot of the challenges that slow down the process?
Cool.
How can we speed things up? How can we allow you to, in the same amount of time, close more sales, make more money, really scale your business within this organization?
Cool.
And that's, but from a motivation standpoint, I would say maybe the biggest thing is just a lot of it kind of comes back down to just relating it to sports in a lot of ways as
Dude,
well.
Really? No way.
Yes.
Okay. I like that.
Business and sports. Business and sports have so many similarities. And I don't mean to be long-winded, but I'm gonna tell you a story.
No, go for it. Hit it.
So we have a guy that sits on our board. His name's Wally Joyner. He was in the Major League Baseball, MLB, for 16 years.
Perfect.
Awesome, incredible guy. And with sales, you deal with a lot of rejection. And he talked about how over 16 years. The guy's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He was at BYU, inducted him as a Hall of Famer. He's awesome. And he's like, 100 times throughout my career, I got in my car after a game and thought, I'm no good anymore. I cannot do this because we all go through slumps.
Okay.
And, he talked about some of the different principles that allowed him to just continue to show up, to get better, to master his weaknesses instead of letting his ego keep him in the same place so he could continue to improve and get better. And those are some of the things that I think when you relate sales and business, it's this idea of being willing to personally develop and really master your weaknesses, not run away from them or let your ego get so big that you think that they're not there. And then it's also this Mamba mentality of just putting a little bit extra in every single day, because that compounds over time. So those are the two things I try to remind people of, because I'm like, guys, you did that for free when you played sports. Like, do it now to get paid.
Yes. Oh, dude. Either way, though, I freaking love that you went there with that, because that's exactly why I work in the space that I do. I think people think I just am passionate about sports, which I totally am. I freaking love sports.
Yeah.
But when you work around people like pro athletes and you get to hear their mindset and what they do, there is a ton of introspection. There is a ton of looking at how can I get better every day. And I think a quote that came to my mind based on what you just said is, it's like your level of success will never surpass your level of personal development.
Yes.
Right? So I think people just look at sports as some of this ego thing, but I don't think people realize how much goes on in the background to come out on that stage and do what you do, you know?
I think the interesting thing to think about too is that every single NFL, NBA, MLB player, let's say they're a starter for that year, but guess what? The following year, you got 6 people wanting to take your spot.
Yep.
And so there is this constant need to improve and get better and get a slight edge, which is something you help people do. It's
100%,
that dude, slight edge, man. It matters.
No, dude, you're speaking it. I mean, it's literally, we go all the way back to my mentor and the whole Tom Brady thing. Like, dude, I mean, when you look back, let's just talk about that for just a second. We know, and this is going to go out. I love Tom Brady as a whole.
Yeah.
You look at Tom Brady and the way that he came through, he wasn't necessarily the most athletic, but he was really, really good at his job. But what helped him do that was he didn't have to think about pain. He didn't have to think about recovery, because he had somebody handling that for him. So he could go out and do his job better. It's exactly what I want to do. And that's what I love about it. That's great, dude. I love that you related that to sports, because I think some people don't always understand, because they just see the ego side of winning and the cocky things and whatever. But I'm like, dude, I don't think you understand what it takes to even build a mindset like that. When you're tested every day out in front of millions of people, you're interviewed, you're always pushed into this corner, and you see some of them in their interviews. They're like, you can see they get frustrated. It's like, why'd you even ask me that question? Like, you know what it takes for me to be here. So anyways, I love that you brought that up.
Well, they don't know. And that's
true.
I think that's the problem, right? Is that, we see this and we idolize these people that are ultra successful. But I think most people don't understand how much work it actually takes to build that type of mindset, because I like that you brought up Tom Brady. One of the big reasons I started running is because, I mean, dude, I get bored with things, and one thing I share with business a lot is the middle sucks. Like, you start a new venture, it's exciting. Like, you're thinking about all the prospects and everything that's going to happen, and then now you slog through this plan that you have that takes probably longer and costs more money than you anticipated. And that's where a lot of people give up. Or you get hit with a couple failures that were unexpected. I always think about Tom Brady and his Super Bowl against the Falcons.
Oh man, what a game, dude.
What a game. And that guy's ability to stay not only calm under pressure, but to not give up.
Right.
And then to be the type of leader that he wouldn't allow his team to give up.
Yes, 100%.
To be down, 28-3 at half.
Yes.
I had my friends calling me saying, hey, pay up, dude.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
No, most people did, man. And I'm with you on that. I don't think people understand the resilience that it takes to be in that space and seek past it. And I'm sure, again, you see that a lot in sales too. I mean, I know there's goals with sales and there's opportunities to see and get past some of these slumps. But anyways, the whole Tom Brady thing, I think one of my other favorites from him is he was asked, did you ever set out to be the GOAT or to be the best? And he said, no, I just wanted to always strive to be the best at who I was, at who I could be.
Love that.
And then it bled into everything else. His leadership, his ability to win, all the things. I freaking love it. So I sound like a broken record about Tom Brady. You don't have to apologize. I might have to because I talk about him all the time, but I look up to that a ton. So that's freaking awesome, man.
I mean, if we're going to look up to somebody, it might as well be somebody who did something extraordinary.
Exactly.
7 Super Bowl rings? Something?
Yeah. Underestimated. Goes to the Buccaneers and in one season takes them to a Super Bowl. Like, what the heck?
Well, poor Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think Bill Belichick has the most Super Bowl wins of any coach and didn't get the first Hall of Fame
I know.
ballot. And
I think he's still got a chance.
He will, but everyone goes, well, maybe it was Brady and not Belichick.
That's true. I know. That conversation does get brought up. That's wild.
Oh,
That's
funny.
so wild. I love it, dude. Dude, tell me a little bit, I mean, just to relate to some of the dads out there, what's it like for you? I think I can now relate having little crewman, shout out crewman. I think being a leader in sales and then having an opportunity to come home and also be present with your kids. I mean, moms do a lot of the work.
Oh, yeah.
We do a lot of work, but what would you say is, I mean, some advice to any dads who are in the grind, who are in the middle of that part where it's a little bit boring and you're just sludging through, because it bleeds into your ability to want to be present in other places, right?
Well, it does, right? Because, you're the leader of your household.
Mm-hmm.
And so leadership, I think, expands into everything we do, right? I try to lead my household similar to how I lead a business. And what's the reality? I mean, for my business to have success, I need to be present.
Mm-hmm.
I need to also teach and really get to know the people that are within that business so I can help them. I can understand what their strengths are, right? And also what their weaknesses are so that I can help them become not only well-rounded, but really pour a lot of energy into those strengths so that they're able to excel. And I try to think about that in the same way with my kids. I when I come home, we're all tired, right? I get it. But for me, I'm excited because this is, an opportunity for me to show up for them. They're watching. And if I show up with energy, I give them attention, I really get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes one-on-one time where it's not the TV on. I'm not on my phone. I think that's one of the bigger things that I try to do is put my phone away and actually hang out with them.
Me too.
And the crazy thing is kids teach us so much about life as well, because they don't let all the stresses and all the fears that we learn in going through life affect them. They're just enjoying life.
Yep.
And
the moment,
100%. Something happens. I mean, they fall down, they shake it off, and they keep going.
Dude. It's so real.
Something bad happens to us as adults. We stew on it for 3 to 4 weeks. Oh, God doesn't want me to win.
That's real. That is very real. Oh, dude, I love that. I think that's me too. Like, dude, I'll get home after a long day and Lexi's getting ready to put him down. And I'm like, you know what? I'll go do it. And even if he's going to bed, that moment for me, I mean, first off, in a couple of years, he's probably not even going to want me to hold him.
Yes.
But second off, that moment for me to just hold him and be with him. And I usually end up falling asleep too, in the rocking chair for sure. It's like 7 o'clock at night and I'm out with him. But I love that. I appreciate that. And the thing I want to hit on that I love that you're going through too, even as a leader, as a dad, husband, like, all these different concepts for you kind of carry together, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like getting to know your people, getting to serve them, getting to be present with them, getting to be present with your business. Like, I think that's perfect. And I think that carries all together. So speaking of that, I mean, man, we're here at the beginning of 2026.
Yes.
What are some up and coming goals of yours, man?
So, for me, my goals are really more focused around helping the leaders that I have on my team, so thinking about business, helping the leaders that are on my team really develop from a leadership standpoint, so they can do a better job. Exactly what you're saying. Identifying the strengths and weaknesses of the people that they lead, helping them really help round out their skill sets. So they help them personally develop, help them master the skill set that we're in from a sales standpoint. And that way everyone makes more money, right? So trying to teach them the ability to help people master a skill set, because that's how you ultimately make more money.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I would.
And that's the goal of sales.
Well, mastery, I think, is in most things, people do, they want to be good at 50 different things.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you master one thing, then you will be in high demand and you'll get paid more. It's, for me, I'm like, it's really that simple. So if you've chosen to take this career path, let's help you master it. You'll get paid more.
Yes.
And it'll give you more options in life. Cool. So that's number one for me. I want to see everyone's income go up just because we have better leadership development.
Perfect.
And that leadership development trickles down to the people within the organization.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Two is really, really trying to create a lot of automation in my life, because I'm trying to figure out some ways to utilize AI, utilize automation, to be able to let some businesses run in the background and give me a lot more freedom in my life.
Cool.
And then, and number three is to, continue to spend time with my kids, travel with them.
Perfect.
And, it's funny because we've been traveling a lot with not a lot. We'll take a couple trips a year with our kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now that my son's getting older, he's 3, he'll be 4 this year. Yeah, I mean, he's already saying, "Hey, when are we going to Mexico?" Well, October, dude. But really trying to make sure that I'm taking the time to really have some just personal family time this year.
Perfect.
And spend it with them. So those are my goals. Tell me about yours, Ben. What are you working towards this year?
Oh man, dude, great question. I think growth in any sense. We're kicking this podcast off again. I love the ability to share what I do and those that I get to help while on the table. I think being a present dad, a present husband, I want to travel more, and really dialing in on what it looks like to grow for my business as a whole. And you and I have talked a little bit about that. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I think we've got some big things coming, and we'll look at where that goes. I had a question for you back on your little, just as like a leader in this sales industry. When somebody does come to you, because I love that you talked about that low really quick. When somebody does come to you and they're struggling with their goals, they're not hitting their quotas, whatever that looks like, in that moment, how do you help that person push past that? Because all they're seeing is this, right? I'm not hitting my goals, and you get really down on it, and you're overthinking about all those things. What do you do in that moment to help a person kind of flip it around?
Well, it's a couple things, right? I mean, first thing I want to determine is, do you still want to do this? Okay. I think that's important to me because if we're going to put the time in, there has to be a desire to win.
Smart.
Sometimes we purposely lose, and we may not even realize it, but subconsciously we just don't want to be here, dude. Yep. You don't want to continue with the same job or stay in the same place, so you subconsciously lose.
Yeah.
And self-sabotage.
Yep.
I've done it. I see it all the time with people. So do you really want to be here? And then we have to get back to the basics. I mean, it's the blocking and tackling of football. Like, what are the things that have helped you win in the past, and the fundamentals that we know will always help you win?
Yep.
Sports, business, again, are the same, right? Let's get back to the basics. And make sure that in our process, we are going through every single one of those basics. We're not skipping steps.
Incredible.
That's number one. And then number two, if you're not where you want to be, then you've got to sacrifice something.
Yep.
Maybe it's a little bit of sleep.
Cool.
So you have to get up a little earlier and put in a little more time.
Yep.
Maybe it's social media.
Yep.
Put your phone away while you're here, because maybe that's distracting you and keeping you from your goals. Maybe it's a relationship. And that sometimes happens. You have a really negative family member, boyfriend or girlfriend that is constantly putting you in this negative mind space where it's almost impossible for you to win. So make sure that the person wants to be there, get back to the fundamentals, and verify that they're going through every step in their process. And then find out what do they need to sacrifice to get to that next level.
Money. Dude, I think you just put together the most simplified way for anybody to succeed. And what I love that you did that really quick, because people need to hear this, is I think winning or succeeding, people just make it so complex.
For sure.
And I think you go back to the very beginning, and it's, do you want to be here? And if you do, then we can make a plan and a trajectory from there.
Yes.
And then back to the basics. The basics have always worked. Why are we trying to shift around them, right?
That's it.
And
Always
then
will.
I think I agree. Number 3, just like, you've got to be willing to sacrifice something, whatever that looks like for you, and that can be an array of things. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that, because I think people need to hear winning doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complex. Yes, it'll take sacrifice. Do you want to be with it? Let's go to the basics and then carry from there. It's perfect. That's the formula.
Well, I know you're asking all the questions here, Brance, but while we're on that topic, you know, I think it's been a little bit since you did a podcast. I mean,
Yeah.
you've done some extraordinary things in your business that
No,
have
thank
helped
you.
you win at a very high level over
Thank
the
you.
last few years, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that.
What are some of the things that you feel like you've done over the last couple of years to help you become not only an expert in your field, but to be able to work with the highest level clients as well?
Mhm. Dude, great question. I think one of my basics that I always go back to, that has always worked and will always work, is I truly care about what I do, but I really care about the person that's in front of me. I care about the person that's on my table. I'm very present with them. I do want to be there, and I want to give them my best work, whatever that is. And I've had to maybe lower some really high expectations, where, like, sometimes after one session, if they're 80% better, it's the best we can do today. Okay. It may take more than that, and that's okay. You're never going to jump on a diet and lose weight that first day, right? Like, things take time. There's a process. But I think caring about what I do, caring about the person that's on the table, and I think people see that and people feel that. Being able to, I've been traveling a lot with Colin Sexton, and even him, I think he knows that he can count on me to be there and give my best work whenever he needs it. And truthfully, when I'm traveling with him, I mean, dude, I'm here for you, man. I'm here for no other reason but to make sure you feel good. And there's times, one of my favorite stories is, like, usually my sessions are about an hour.
Yep.
We'll work about an hour, and he'll get up off the table. And for him, it's like, dude, I have either practice tonight or I have a game tomorrow. It's very directly proportionate to how he's going to feel when he knows he's going to move next, whether, again, that's practice or a game. And it could be the next day. It could be that night, right? I'm working on him that morning. So when he gets up off the table, I don't want to feel this hamstring pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's been a couple times where he gets up off the table, and I'm like, dude, how are you feeling? He's like, still feeling it a little bit. And I'm like, okay, how much time do we have? He goes, I got all the time I need. You just get this thing feeling good. I don't care. I don't want to feel this when I go into the game. And that's why I value what I do, is I want people to get up off the table and feel like they can go run. They can go conquer the day. They're not worried about their pain, because I am. And I'm willing to take that on if it means I have the skill set to be able to do that. So just give him my best work. Sorry, that was a long answer, but.
Dude, I love it. I mean, we want the long answers. And so, again, I'm just going to try and recap what you've shared here. Yeah. You love what you do. You care for your clients. Mm-hmm. And therefore, the amount of energy and attention you put into your craft is what allows you to operate at such a high level.
Yes.
Again, like, when we tie things back to the basics, why I started with, do you want to be here? Like, you've got to learn to love what you do.
Yep.
And because work is hard.
It's never. I mean, it's manual work, right? And there's long days. I mean, I've had to learn. I think building these relationships and showing people that you care still goes a long way, and it brings about more doors and more opportunities. I think that's the bigger lesson that I've learned. There would be nights, real story, I've told you this. There would be nights I am in bed. I'm about to fall asleep. Okay. I'm checking, Jazz game's over. I'm checking my phone. Next thing you know, buzz. Hey, man, need you at the house. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. No joke. True story. Not the healthiest thing, but I would literally drive to the gas station, grab me a nice little Red Bull, crack that thing open, go to work, man. Go to work, because I knew I needed to. And Lexi asks me all the time, like, how do you do that? And I'm like, you know what? I know that when I put in this work, it's going to create opportunities in the long run. I'm building trust. I'm building confidence. And I love what I do. If he's got a game the next day, I want to make sure he's playing well. And I know that I had the smallest percentage of him to go in there and play well. And now, look, dude, we're traveling across the country, and I get to go out there for him, just for him, to be with him and make sure he's feeling good. So,
well, and that's the sacrifice that we talked about.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to sacrifice sleep.
Yep.
A little bit of comfort, cuddles with your lady, man.
It's so true.
And that's hard to do, but you look at the opportunities that it's given you as a result.
Yep.
I mean, and when you think about how you've scaled your business to go from working with athletes, some of them weekend warriors, some of them in college,
to all in between,
and all in between, and now to be working with pro athletes, man, because of your passion towards this. Yeah. I mean, what an example of what, truly loving what you do and giving your best every single day and being willing to sacrifice when it's needed. Yeah. Right. You have to, I think you need to use some discretion there. I mean, but what an example of how that will help not only scale your business, but create this reality of whatever your dream is.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I think to just go on top of that, I use this both metaphorically and realistically. There's always a season.
Yes.
So when people would ask me, dude, are you, I mean, you're working on people at midnight every night? No. The NBA season is only 6-7 months, whatever. And I know, straight up, I know when the season's over, I've got time to rest. Mm-hmm. Okay. I've got time to kind of coast for a minute. And I know coasting maybe isn't always the best word in terms of reaching your goals, but I think there are moments you just got to be with it. And so metaphorically, there's always seasons, man. And when it rains, it pours. When it's time to sprint, you sprint, even when you're tired. And you can just know at the end of the day, you're going to have a moment to break or rest at some point. You just will. It may not be long and you may have to sprint again the next day, but there's always going to be time to rest and you got to capitalize on it.
Well, and that's a hard one, I think, for high performers. I
sure.
find myself always wanting to go, but at some point, your body says enough.
Yes.
And so if you can strategically plan rest for yourself, plan these things that allow you to recharge. For me, it's time with my family and travel. And strategically planning that, we try to do something every quarter because I find that if I plan it, if I don't, then it doesn't happen. Work takes over my life and there's never time. But if I plan it, then strategically, I know that I get to pour back into myself. I get to pour back into my family. And therefore, I have the energy to go sprint again. Yes. So, I love how you also have looked at this and said, I know what my seasons are, where I have to. Unfortunately, we never have perfect balance.
For sure.
Work takes a little more of my balance at this point. And then at this point, I'm able to pour a little more into family, health, recovery, sleep, some of the things I missed out on. But, the combination is, again, it comes back to winning, which we would talk about this whole time.
Man, that's it. No, I love that, man. That's real. That's super real. No, just to wrap this up here, man. First off, thank you for being here, man. Seriously, I appreciate the questions. I appreciate the conversation. This literally naturally happens while we're on the table, and I love it. I wanted to talk to you about one more thing. I mean, dude, it was so fun, and I could see us kicking up again. Whether or not I know you're a busy man, but dude, I want to talk about how much you enjoyed and working in these masterminds. Thank you, goodness, that was so fun, and I know people really enjoyed it and loved it. And what for you was motivational, or what was your motivation around building a group like this and having the opportunity to work together? Because we both saw, let's say, a need for it,
Mm-hmm. I think for me, it's fun to be able to get to talk to different people, different situations, different businesses, different mindsets, different personalities, and to be able to hear their problems and just in a lot of ways either learn from what they're going through or to be able to diagnose and help. I feel like I gained so much from that. Yes. Because there were so many different situations where people were sharing what they were dealing with. We were able to just talk collectively as a group. Yep. And it's just that. I mean, I think that every person should have a mastermind group. I agree. I know ours was rotating a little bit, but you're someone that I consider to be a part of my friendship mastermind group. Oh, when I've got something, I think we do this with each other. Dude, I need to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Because Stephen Covey in 7 Habits, he talks about how 1 + 1 = 3, right? You get the right group around, and in fact, Think and Grow Rich talks about masterminds, and I think that's maybe what gave me the inspiration. That's one of my favorite books. Shout out Napoleon Hill. Hey. But they talk about how when you bring a group together, you're able to just think at such a higher level than if it's just yourself trying to solve problems, or in some cases even just two people. So that's really it, man. I loved that opportunity. I love that in that I think we've learned how to diagnose and talk through problems with each other in business and life. And yeah, I mean, what about you? I mean, as we started talking about that, you felt like you really grabbed onto that business as well.
I think the bigger piece for me for sure was relatability. I think every single person that came into our mastermind group had their own problem, something they were trying to start up or an idea.
Yep.
And every single one of us could somehow still pull together an idea on how we could relate on either making that happen or helping that person find their answers or diagnose the issue. And I would walk away just going, I'm not the only one who has these little ideas or these struggles in business. And it was just a small group of people. It was so empowering. Who knows? You might see a comeback.
That's right.
Hey,
2026.
I love it. I love it. Dude, Taylor, thank you so much. Seriously, you're a giant. I love everything that you do in your space, and I look up to you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here, and let's have a big 2026, huh?
Hey, likewise, Browns. Thanks so much for having me. Look up to you big time, brother, and let's make it happen. Let's win.
Appreciate it, man.